You mean out of all the monikers that myself and many others
Oh, that's me, and many others is me.
have came up with for Mango Mussolini?
You mean McNugget Muammar?
Pumpkin Spice Palpatine,
Paprika Pinochet?
Tangerine Tyrant,
Attila the Dumb?
honorable mentions for Mayo Sapien Mao,
How about Chairman Cow?
Copper Tone Coward, as well as Save-A-Lot Stalin,
Don't forget Saffron Saddam or Happy Meal Hussein.
Orange Adolf,
Come on, bud, that's slacking when Adderall Adolf or Apricot Adolf was right there. Your alliteration's better than that, man. Throwing orange in front of an A, what the hell?
Fanta Fascist,
That's a little better and pairs quite nicely with the Fanta Fuhrer.
and there's Cheeto Benito,
Mango Manchurian Candidate.
Clementine Caligula,
Or Cantaloupe Caligula if you want to mix the fruit up in this cake.
Payless Putin.
Pumpkin Spice Pennywise.
There is also the Dollar Tree Dictator,
As well as Alexander the Grope and Orange Julius Caesar.
Velveeta Voldemort,
Velveeta Voldemort is delicious, but you put a little Russian dressing on that and it becomes Velveeta Vladimir.
Nepotism Napoleon.
Nectarine Nero.
Yesterday, someone took me all the fucking way out with the Count of Mostly Crisco.
that was pretty good. Ooh, what about this one I just came up with? Flabomir Poopin. No? Okay.
Yo, Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
All right, speed round. Jack Lantern, Jim Jones, Cheddar Cheese, Charles Manson, Discount David Koresh and his Branch Dumbvidians, Pumpkin Pie Putin, Sweet Potato Palpatine, Carotene Caligula, Kim Jong Illiterate, the Nectarine Nazi, the Turmeric Tyrant, Dick Traitor, Pervert Hoover, Scene Heil out there leading the Turd Reich. But out of all of those, I think the one that I personally have come up with that is my favorite, because fair is fair, some of those I've gotten from other people, though I can proudly take credit for quite a few. I think my personal favorite, original, is Kangas Convict. You cannot tell me that that is not a podium-worthy pet name for the president. Sorry guys, though, got a little carried away. Bartender and I get a little excited and into it when it comes to coming up with new and interesting, fun, and clever ways to call the president a prick. But Bartender was making a point there before I so rudely cut him off, so what were you saying there, bud?
Out of all the monikers that myself and many others have came up with for Mango Mussolini, it was motherfucking chicken that made him mad?
Yeah, that was a little hurtful, honestly, after all the effort we put in. The least he could have done was like one true social honorable mention temper tantrum for one of the names we came up with. It's like he doesn't even care about all the effort that hard-working Americans like us put into coming up with this stuff. These don't write themselves. Well, some of them do. Do you get my point?
That sumbitch was so upset when she said that shit that he spoke straight for the first time since 2016.
2016, I remember that motherfucker speaking straight since 2006, but then again, every month feels like a decade these days, so maybe it was more recent than that.
Has nobody ever told Nepotism Napoleon that normal people call him anything but his proper name?
You know, I've been thinking about this for a minute now, and to be fair, first off, no. Probably not. He pretty much surrounds himself exclusively with Fox News, True Social, and Kid Rock, and none of them are going to take the sherbet pervert's little push pop out of their mouth long enough to tell him. And to be fair, who can blame them? Because we've all seen the terracotta toddler's temper tantrums, and nobody wants to be the messenger of that truth bomb. But even if they did tell him, we got one other thing working against us, and that is that the man has fewer synapses than a microwaved yam. If we're being honest, these are pretty clever, and some of those monikers take some mental power to process, and you need an IQ at least this high to ride this ride, and I don't think there's enough socks in the world he could shove in his shoes to meet that bar. It's kind of like when I call my horse Donkey. He doesn't get offended, mostly because he has a better sense of humor than Donald Trump, but also, you gotta understand how you're being insulted to be insulted by being insulted. So him being more insulted by being called a chicken sort of makes sense because it's probably one of the three animals he can still pick out on a dementia test, and he knows it's smarter than him, and that makes him angry. Just a hunch, though.
Between this and the South African super dork starting the breakup...
Not to cut you off again, sorry, but I got a new one for him, too. Check this one out. Dork Sidious. He's the leader of the Nerd Reich, and his swastika car company is trying to sell you segregation sedans, apartheid rides, and cyber cucks. I can't take credit for Nerd Reich or swastika cars, but the rest I came up with and I'm pretty proud of. Because, you know, Elon is hard to, like, mix with stuff, as is most white dudes from South Africa. So aside from Dork Sidious, the only other one I've been able to come up with is Munich Musk, and it's just not as fun. Anyway, sorry, you were saying?
Bolchito Benito better go get his heart checked. That sumbitch is about to break.
Oh, well, yeah. Every time I think today's the day that fast food and amphetamines are gonna save us, I wake up to another day of idiocracy, so I'm not holding my breath that this will be the one either. But a boy can dream. Anyway, bud, as always, it's been a blast. But my wife and I are getting a little hungry, and I think we're gonna go get us some chicken tacos. So, let's do this again soon.
I'll see you down the line.